There is nothing more stressful than being a master of ceremonies at a wedding. I run a little business over on the main street of Cana. We get hired all over the district by people to put on events like weddings for them. In this business, you have to make lists, or else you're bound to forget something. You've got to count and count and count, or else you're going to run out of provisions. You know, these dues can go on for the better part of a week. So then you've got to multiply everything by the number of days, and then on top of that, you've always got some aunt or uncle that overstays their welcome. So you've got to provide for that as well. It's a bit of a keeping up with the Jonas type thing at the best of times. You know, if the guests don't feel satisfied, if they don't feel like they've had enough to eat and drink, they will look down on the newlyweds and their families for the rest of their lives. Do you know what I found the secret is? Keep plenty of plonk flowing. Once people feel warm and mellow, they're ready to forgive you just about anything. Of course, I can't imbibe because I got to supervise the whole thing. Do you know, even with all my experience, I still get nervous at these things. You know, out of all the weddings that I've done, the one that stands out most in my mind is the Jakob family. The particular day that I'm thinking of, all the Bar Josephs were there. Well, except for poor old Joseph himself, because he had recently passed on. But Mary, Jesus, all the family were there. They'd been friends with the happy couple for years. But, you know, I was really angry when Jesus first arrived because he came with this whole entourage of disciples in tow. I mean, what were they doing there? I hadn't planned on them. Man, these guys could swear like fishermen. And could they drink? Are there fish in Galilee? Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm getting a little off topic here. We just finished the last round of toasts, and we were getting ready to toast Uncle Elimelech's third camel when somebody brought in a new jug of wine for us to try. Well, man, was it good. It was nothing like I'd ever ordered before. It was so mellow, it just sent warm glow up and down your body. Oh, man. I leaned over to the bridegroom and I said, "Where have you been hiding this stuff?" Well, he just looked at me blankly and he said, "I thought you ordered it." Well, then it hit me. The vineyard had delivered the wrong stuff, and I was going to be stuck with this massive bill for this expensive wine. So I quickly ran into the back room to try to stop them from uncorking any more jugs. Do you know what I saw? They were literally ladling this stuff out of the bathtub. I screamed at the top of my voice. I said, "What are you doing?" And then suddenly I felt a little tap on my shoulder. And I turned around, and it was Mary. Well, she started to explain the whole thing to me very slowly. It appears that she'd been helping out in the back room, and she noticed that they'd run out of wine. Well, she knew as well as anyone the disgrace that would fall upon this family if the guests ever found this out. So she went over to Jesus and asked him if he could do something. Well, he didn't want to at first, but a little while later, he went into action. It was so strange. Every time they ladled the water out of the tub, it was wine. I don't know how I got through the rest of that wedding. I was in a daze. I mean, the worst part was me, person of my experience, forgetting to order enough wine and risking not only my reputation, but the reputation of the Jakob family. I would never have forgiven myself. But you know, everyone said it was the best party since Uncle Reuben's funeral. And it was. But it wasn't because of me. It was because Jesus had stepped in to save both me and the family from disgrace. Say, do you think a rabbi would ever go into business? I mean, think of it. Jesus and me, as business partners, we would make a killing. Nah, I suppose not.